Module overview composition is the soul of cinematic storytelling. While camera shots and angles determine what is captured, composition decides how it is presented within the frame. Composition is a powerful visual language that shapes the viewer's attention, emotion, and understanding. It's not just about beauty, it's about storytelling, subtext, mood, and meaning. This module dives deeply into the foundational and advanced principles of composition in filmmaking. It explores how framing choices, visual balance, symmetry, depth, and spatial dynamics contribute to the psychological, emotional, and narrative weight of a scene. A particular focus is placed on the rule of thirds, one of the most fundamental compositional techniques, and its deliberate use or subversion across different film genres. We also examine compositional tension, leading lines, depth of field, negative space, and the mise-en-scène as integral aspects of visual storytelling. With the help of classic and contemporary examples, you will explore how visual hierarchy and framing communicate theme, tone, conflict, power dynamics, and intimacy without a single word of dialogue. Learning objectives. By the end of this module, you will understand the principles of visual composition in film, apply the rule of thirds, and analyze its impact on visual balance and storytelling. Evaluate how composition shapes audience focus, emotional tone, and meaning. Analyze how visual symmetry, depth, and negative space inform narrative subtext. Recognize the role of mise-en-scène in frame construction and emotional delivery. Core content areas. 4.1 Principles of composition in cinematography. Composition refers to the arrangement of visual elements within the frame. Just like a painter arranges forms on a canvas, filmmakers use composition to control visual storytelling. Key principles include balance, symmetry versus asymmetry, visual weight, which objects, characters draw focus, hierarchy, what the audience should notice first, spatial relationships, foreground, midground, background, rhythm and movement, visual flow across a sequence of shots. Every visual decision from the placement of a lamp to the character's position contributes to meaning. The rule of thirds. The rule of thirds is a basic but powerful compositional principle. The frame is divided into 9 equal rectangles by 2 horizontal and 2 vertical lines. Important elements are placed along these lines or at their intersections. This creates natural balance, visual interest, and dynamic energy. Applications. Eye lines placed on top horizontal line. Horizons placed on upper or lower third main subjects aligned at intersections. Psychological impact. Balanced and pleasing to the human eye. Guides focus and directs attention. Allows breathing space for the character or action. Subversion. Some filmmakers intentionally break the rule for effect. Center framing for symmetry. Wes Anderson. Unbalanced compositions for tension or discomfort. Empty space to depict loneliness, isolation, or oppression. 4.3 Framing and visual hierarchy. Framing determines what is included or excluded from the shot, how subjects are spatially positioned, and how much space surrounds them. Types include tight framing, suggests entrapment or intimacy. Loose framing, conveys freedom or detachment. Open versus closed framing. Does the subject have room to escape the frame? The hierarchy of visual elements is critical. Audiences intuitively notice the most dominant item first. Cinematographers use light, color, focus, and placement to emphasize this. 4.4 Symmetry, balance, and visual tension symmetry. Balanced compositions that suggest stability, harmony, or formality. Asymmetry. Off-balance compositions that imply conflict, movement, or psychological imbalance. Visual tension. Created through imbalance, gaze direction, angles, or motion center framing. Can be commanding or unsettling, depending on context. Examples: the Grand Budapest Hotel uses symmetry to create whimsical control. Requiem for a Dream uses asymmetry to depict psychological collapse. 4.5. Depth, layers, and spatial composition. Foreground, midground, and background layers add depth and realism. Use of shallow versus deep focus to direct attention. Depth of field as emotional or narrative emphasis. Directors like Orson Welles, Alfonso Cuarón, and Terrence Malick masterfully use spatial composition for immersive storytelling. 4.6. Negative space and emotional atmosphere. Negative space is the empty area around or between subjects. Can create isolation, suspense, or highlight vulnerability. In horror, large empty space can imply unseen threat. In drama, distance between characters shows emotional detachment. 4.7. Mise-en-scène and its role in composition. Mise-en-scène includes all the visual elements placed in front of the camera. Sets props, costumes, lighting, blocking, actor movement, color schemes. These elements, when arranged deliberately within the frame, influence composition and mood significantly. Every object tells a story. Case study examples. There Will Be Blood, Paul Thomas Anderson. Rule of thirds used with vast negative space to show ambition and greed. Moonlight, Barry Jenkins. Soft framing and use of space to express tenderness and identity. The Shining, Stanley Kubrick. Center framing for claustrophobic control and dread. Roma, Alfonso Cuarón. Deep space composition with long takes to immerse viewers in memory and realism. Key terms: rule of thirds framing, tight, loose, open, closed, symmetry and asymmetry. Negative space depth of field visual hierarchy, mise-en-scène, spatial composition.